something else.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the No Scrubs Allowed podcast. For some reason, I thought when I hit record, it had to hit a second button that says like start recording, even though I do this every week. But anyways, Seal, how you doing?
Yeah, no, you know what you're doing, man. Sitting there, I'm trying to be nice for the setup, and you just catch me off guard like always. That's awesome.
No, I did not. I had
I
no
am
clue.
doing fantabulous. You've already seen Travis look off to his right or left, I believe.
It's my left.
Oh, so okay, yeah.
I think it's also the screen's left. I
It's
don't
yeah,
know,
okay, yeah. I don't know why I can tell it's to your left, but it's to our right, your left for now. It'll probably be switched whenever.
Yeah, who knows?
Anyways, his game's going on. Game 4 there. They have to win to force a game 5. Fortunately, we were not in that situation.
And that's me flicking
Last-
off my TV because now we're losing. Oh no, it went
Last
foul.
night.
Never mind. Haha.
Ooh, hey, don't we all learned last night? Don't get too ahead of yourselves. Y'all saw that in the 9th inning. Dude cranked it, went around first base with his hand up, turned around.
Yeah, so we got shut out twice, and both times, like, it looked like we were gonna hit some home runs that the wind just kills, man, and it's crazy. I don't know, and obviously, like, the wind is the same for everybody, and Evan Longoria figured out how to hit home runs, so there's not much you can say about that when the weather does it, but hopefully, like, the umps, man, we both kind of texted each other about this, and for it's fair, it's consistent. I'm not complaining about or umps, but these strike zones are just rough, dude. And I mean, Max Scherzer benefited from it a lot. He had like 3 Ks that were about half a foot, so like 6 inches outside, and there's no way to hit that. So if the ump's giving you that, it's you're gonna get the 1-0 games that we got, and obviously if we would have won 1-0, I'd be happy. But I want to see more runs happening. Call the strike zone fair and let people actually play ball. Your game was doing the same thing, or?
Yeah, and it was benefiting us a lot because we started out with Erod, who likes to throw fucking beamers high, and once they gave him that extra 5-6 inches, it was game over.
Yeah,
they're check swing and strikes left and right, and then at the end of it, they're like, all right, we see So warming up, and they said it has to be the perfect for him to come in, and we didn't even need him. What was his name? I'm trying to find his name. Brazier was doing the damn thing, but then it came unraveled there at the end.
right.
And into the 9th inning, we went 5-5, and was it? Yeah, 9th inning, it was 5-5. We were able to get them with we put in our closer. We're in the 9th inning. Brazier did enough. Thankfully, we didn't have to use Sell because now he's going to be fresh and ready to go. And it had to be a perfect situation. It was, but Brazier or however you say his name, did enough. And then homie freaking Whitlock came in there and just destroyed the end. Like, we didn't need Sell. We didn't need to bring anybody else in to close it. He just knocked it out 2 innings, and it was amazing. It was awesome to have Kike continue to go on his tear. And you saw right when he knocked it, he knew it wasn't out, but he wasn't going to take it. He was going to walk his ass to first base, take his time. He knew what time it was.
Right.
It's an exciting run. I had this guy in my lap for about 6 innings. Just because this team reminds me a lot of it. We're getting these characters. Xander's kind of like the Manny, but is professional about it. He's the new Manny. We have Nathan Eovaldi coming in being the new young old timer guy, kind of like Pedro ended up being around this time for 2004. And Chris Sell coming in there, the old cat. I forgot Omi's name. Kurt. How am I going to get? He wasn't on there. Yeah, he wasn't on there for the 2003, 2004, but he helped us keep winning shit. So we have this old school feel, I feel like, to our team. And oh yeah, by the way, nobody expecting us to go out there and beat the Yankees the way we did. They expected what was happening to happen, and then we turned the tides and then just went out there and swept the World Series. Nobody expected that either. And I'm excited, man. We're 4 wins away from a World Series and keeping the cheating ass Astros with 2 S's, 3 S's in their name out of the World Series.
The Dodgers are trying to fight for game 5, but everybody else has already been set. So all the championship series guys are already set, and that's damn. And so that's going to be, we'll start with the team that doesn't know who they're going to play against, since we won't be able to talk about it too much, but that's the Braves. They clinched it earlier, right before this game, in a really good game. And they were all really good games against the Brewers. How are the Braves still doing this with nobody I mean, Albies is still hurt or Acuna's hurt, whichever one's hurt. They're both hurt, maybe. I don't know. Ozuna's off doing whatever it is Ozuna's doing right now. Can't play. How are they still just rolling right along? They won the shitty NL East, so nobody expected them to do anything. And now they're here in the championship series, awaiting whichever one of these 100 and whatever win teams come out.
They're doing it for the old cat, man. They know Freddie doesn't have that many years left in his tank, and he's going to end up being – he already is on the downhill, kind of like Albert Pujols kind of guy. But he's still got enough left in the tank to where this team can get it done with what they have around them. They play that smart ball shit. It's like it's been great games to watch for baseball fans, but you're not going to gain a new fan watching those games.
Right.
It's just not going to happen. Thank goodness it's not going to be the Braves and the Rays, because holy shit. That would be
it would be technical baseball.
That would be some shit. It would
only
the Rays
Jake
in the first 2 innings, going into the third inning, they'd already pitched 3 pitchers.
Yeah, they have done that. It's so crazy.
Yeah, I don't understand how they are able to keep their mound visits with all the pitching changes they do. It's insane. I don't know if those count towards mound visits, but if they do,
the changes I don't think do.
All right.
So they just like stagger a visit this inning, a mound change this inning or whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the only thing I can think of is if they have an extra chip on their shoulder, more so than a lot of these other teams. I mean, there's not really any big storylines going in to this besides them, and the Brewers really were a pretty good storyline going into it. But yeah, man, that's it. They're trying to get it done for their guy. Their coach is still relevantly like young, right?
Yeah, he's the guy that like took over for Bobby Cox, right? So, or maybe Snedeker or whatever his name is.
I don't know if it was the guy after Bobby, but
he looks kind of like Bobby Cox, a little younger. He's a little
he does.
Little bald guy.
But yeah, no, they have an extra chip on their shoulder and they're playing really well. And their pitch, that's the only thing. It seems like they're pitching like you were saying the other day. The Giants are like, their pitcher's looking rough. We're gonna be able to get some runs in, and then you don't.
Yeah,
that's how their pitching literally looks every fucking game. It's like, they're gonna give up a lot of runs this game and end up winning 5-3.
Yeah, it's crazy. And like Fried is obviously good. The other guy is really good, but like you said, when you're watching the game, you're like, oh, they're not settled in. They're not doing their thing. And we've said it about the Giants. We said it about the Dodgers pitchers. It just looks like they're not there. And then you look up at the end of the game and there's 5 hits on them after 7 innings. And you're like, oh, okay. So everybody and their mom and anybody that watches baseball, anybody that doesn't watch baseball, said the winner of this Dodgers Giants series is the world champion. It's over, like blah, blah, blah. Going into the NLCS, obviously we don't know the opponent, but what sort of chance do you give these Braves? They're going to have a rest. They're going to have confidence. Still 0%.
0. There's no chance they're winning 7 games against either team that's coming out of this series here. There's just no way. Both teams are just better on both sides of the ball.
Pretty much every position.
Yeah, every position. Like thinking about the Giants.
Freddie Freeman's going to be the best first baseman just because ours is hurt. Like both ours and the Giants are hurt.
Yeah, like every position, every fucking position there. So yeah, they have no chance. They might be able to, with the way they are, to sneak a game, maybe 2, but in a 7 game, if it was a 3 game, 5 game, maybe.
Right.
There's no chance they're going to be able to get 4 wins off of these guys.
Well, I have to give them, I'll say 5%, because I'm not going to ever give anybody 0%. Same way fantasy football does. If there's a guy playing, doesn't matter who it is. You could be playing a guy that isn't actually going to touch the field.
Had a 73% chance of winning, got blown out by freaking. I got it to a 3-point loss, but yeah, I had 65 points on the people I swapped out. It was a 42-point difference.
I finally made a smart decision as a manager, and I needed every single bit of it because I was against Lamar Jackson in it, and it worked out in my favor, luckily. So if I would have made any of those decisions differently, I would have lost because I benched Russell Wilson, which turned out to be great. Benched Edwards-Helaire, which turned out to be great. And I benched TJ Hawkinson. Turned out to be great because I had Dawson Knox that I put in for him instead. So all of my picks worked out good, but sadly it worked out because of injuries. I know we're not talking about football right now, but sadly it worked out because of injuries. So moving forward, I have to try to pick up Darrell Williams or somebody. But anyways, back to baseball. I'm going to give them 5% chance just because you never can give somebody 0% chance. We saw that the Braves had a chance against the Dodgers last year when everyone said it was going to be a sweep. We had to win 3 straight, I think it was, to beat them. So there's never no chance, but pretty much no chance. I agree with you there. So we'll move on now to the AL, and we talked about how the Red Sox beat the Rays. It was pretty crazy, and you guys lost pretty easily the first game, and then you figured something out. What was it that changed to where they really didn't have a chance for you? And I know it was 2 walk-offs, so it's not like it was blowout city, but what changed that you guys really understood how to beat these guys?
It's a team that we played a lot. So we know their pitchers. And I feel like once our young cats kind of settled down, we were able to get going. Kike was coming out. Schwarber wasn't able to do too much leading off the whole series. But for the most part, we were coming out pretty hot. Besides that one game, we started out 5-1 after the first inning, but came back to win. So,
Right.
I mean, it is what it is. It happens. We went up 6-5, and then they tied it, and then we went 12 innings and finally won. And it was a hell of a game. And I think that's like our young guys. We're starting to settle down. We're realizing what we have. We're realizing where we're at. And we have enough old guys in there to kind of help motivate and push them and help them realize what they have going on. Like, they really do have a chance. They're not sitting here for no reason. They beat the best team in the AL that's not cheaters, the second best team, third best team in the AL that's not cheaters. They're just sellouts and spend a shit ton of money. We beat both of those guys. Now all we have
they
to do
cheat
is
the fairway.
Yeah, like let's just beat the cheaters now, and we're there. Like, there's a reason that we're here, and it's all due to us settling down, not letting the pressure get to us, and letting the bat hit the ball and watch that bitch go yard a lot.
Yeah,
and we were and at the nitty gritty, like, we were leaving a lot on just because we were finding ways to get on. Freaking our ninth. What the fuck? It wasn't Hunter. I don't think it was Hunter. It might have been Hunter. If it was, I'm sorry. I don't remember it was you. But whoever laid down that bunt in the ninth, it was picture perfect.
Beautiful.
It was pit, and from our ninth slotted. I think it was ninth. If it was eighth and it was Hunter, again, I'm sorry, my guy. But anyways,
it was Hunter, but
it was the bottom 9. It was the bottom 3 of the rotation getting it done in situation baseball. We needed every bit of that. We were able to get him to third base, then home. It was freaking fantastic.
Absolutely, man. And we talked about how you guys are there surprisingly, but the cheating Astros are there, and it's unsurprising. They're even when they're not cheating, which we'll have to go under the assumption that they're not cheating. Obviously, the White Sox pitcher thought they are, and then they came out and said, all right, well, even on the road, we can drop, what was it, 10 that they had today? I don't know. I stopped watching pretty early on. But
10-1, yeah.
Yeah, so they scored 10 on the road, and their OPS is better on the road, blah, blah, blah. The numbers don't support their cheating. That was just a butthurt pitcher probably. But either way, we know they did cheat. We know they don't even deserve to be here in the postseason. But we also know that their offense is really fucking good. So coming into, you have to go to Houston, which is a shitty place to play anyway. What chance do you guys think you have against the Astros?
A realistic non-fan, I'd give us probably a 30% chance. We're going to be able to get some runs in there. It's going to come down to our pitching, and Evaldi's only going to be able to pitch twice.
Right.
And Sell might be able to get in there twice, but if he does what he did in that last game he started in, then we're fucked. Because like you said, if they can get 5 in the first, then they might end up getting 18. So it might get bad. But on the other end, all of our pitchers have been coming out being pretty damn dominant. We usually have one pitcher giving up a lot, and then everybody comes in and they fucking command the hill, right. And they do the damn thing, and they just kind of stop the bleeding from there. And our offense has been able to get runs in in abundance lately in the whole postseason. So I'm not really worried about us not matching up with their offense. It's just how bad are they going to be able to get ahead at the beginning of the game, because we get jumped on. Like we get jumped on at first, and then we settle our asses down and start playing ball. But yeah, it's going to be fun to watch, man. Not really, but I was thinking I thought the same thing going into this last series. I was just happy we were there and just ready to watch it. But yeah, it's been a hell of a ride so far this postseason.
Yeah, if the Astros can run your starter out in 2 innings, then even if your bullpen's pitching well, they can't do that for 7 straight days. I mean, I know it's not 7 straight days, but they can't do it for like 9 straight days, which is how many games I think, or rest days you have, maybe 3. But hopefully you guys can pull it off. Obviously, when you go back to Boston, the big green monster is going to help out, because I don't know that Altuve can get it all the way up that high.
Little short
but but I think you guys will score. I think it's going to be more exciting games than what's happening in the NLCS. I think the NLCS is going to be the lower scoring, defensive, technical games, and you guys are going to be just going for the fences, a bunch of home runs, a bunch of fun, exciting plays. And obviously, I don't know if you guys have anybody that's ready to bean Altuve and those guys, but the team as a whole that was there back in 2017.
If we could make some weird postseason trade for Joe Kelly to come back real quick,
we'll get him. We'll get him in the championship if
he would be the guy. But no, I don't think. Oh, I don't know. Whitlock is a dog, bro. Whitlock is a dog. So maybe at the end of the game, if we're up 6-1, top of the 9th in Boston, 2 outs, and he comes up, or Bregman or any of them fuckheads, yeah, we might give him a little 98 to the rib. Whitlock's a dog. I love his celebrations. Who was it? Was it Brazier? One of them, one of our guys. Let me go back and look at these names. I saw it was, I think it was a 16 or 17. They said 17 pitch is like the longest pitch count since the 80s. Yeah, I think it was Brazier. But anyways, doesn't fucking matter. 17 struck him out, went berserk, and then for every freaking out after that was just going bananas.
Yeah.
We have dogs.
We I think set the table early. Against the Cardinals, we beat the same guy 3 times. Harrison Bader. Poor Bader, sorry, buddy. But we hit him 3 times in the one wild card game. So I think we were already kind of setting up like, hey, we're pitching pretty poorly, so that if we get to the World Series and it happens to be the Astros, we can say like, dude, we have a track record. Ever since the wild card game, we've been beating everyone. You can't eject us for this. But if anybody beans the Astros, they're getting ejected immediately.
That's so stupid.
We beamed the same guy 3 times in a row, and I don't think it was purposeful. I don't know that he did anything to us. But none of our guys got ejected, so that's pretty fun. But if we're up like 3-0 and we're in Houston, because we would be the top team in this, yours guys would be in the Red Sox. But if we were up 3-0 and have a bullpen game to spare, we definitely use all 7 guys coming out of the bullpen would probably try to bean somebody. That'd be awesome. I'd love it.
Hell yeah. I feel like we have to, right? You have to. That should be like
you got to at least hit him once.
That's an unwritten rule. They haven't.
Which one of your pitchers were there? Evaldi was there.
Evaldi.
Is that it?
But I don't think Evaldi would do it. Evaldi and Sell. But that was Sell's first year. So Evaldi and Sell maybe. Actually, I don't think Evaldi was around. I think he was still in Tampa at that point in time. But they fucked Tampa too, because that's when Tampa was still hot.
Right.
So I don't know, man. I don't fucking know, but somebody has to. Like, it hasn't been done since spring training, and then the MLB came down saying, all right, this shit has to stop. Right. Like, enough is enough. The fans have to stop. Like, we have to take care of these guys because they bring us in a lot of money. I know they're pieces of shit, but these pieces of shit bring us like just as much as the fucking Yankees do almost.
Right.
Like, their revenue, their fans spend a shit ton of money. Even after they cheated, 5% of the fans have said, I'll never go to a game again. I'll never go support these cheaters. Guarantee you went half a fucking year and they stayed winning. And they said, let me get a new jersey because I don't want one of the Bregman boys. I don't want any of them. Let me get this guy who is.
They all got Dusty Baker jerseys so that they could say it wasn't mine.
Who's a no name, but he was still on the team cheating too. Yeah, see, I have a Carlos Canseco, whatever fucking no name was on the fucking team. Like, it's so I can't stand it. There's got to be something like in college. Yeah, cool. You can play your whole season. You could be the best team in the fucking league. It doesn't matter. Once the postseason comes, you're scrapped. You're done for 5 years plus. That should have happened. I hate the fact that it didn't. And if they are able to win chips, it's fucking stupid.
Yeah, I mean, if we make the World Series, I'd love to see them. I'd love to be able to crush their souls, but I don't even want them to win a pennant. So I hope that you guys come out here and take care of
It's
business.
stupid. It
Get
keeps
it done.
tainting baseball. Like
Yeah.
it really keeps tainting baseball.
It shows
So
that there's no consequence, you know?
yeah,
It's so crazy.
like
But, but
yeah,
yeah,
baseball
we
is just so fucked. You have we just keep going in a
yeah,
fucking
we've
circle with this. We
definitely
have
talked about
cheaters
the
able to
cheaters
win
many
chips, and
times.
we have
So
a commissioner who's able to call it a hunk of metal and have no
right.
respect for the game or its fucking prize that you fucking play 162 plus games for. And
And
it's
get
just a
that guy
hunk of metal.
money for thousands
Yeah,
of games.
it's just a
Like
hunk of
30 teams or 32 teams, whatever it is, 30, I guess. Playing 162 games is getting Rob Manfred a lot of money. So it kind of sucks, but
baseball is fucked.
that's going to be a good series. I think it'll be better than the NLDS or CS. Like you said, I think the NLCS might go 5 games if the Braves are lucky. You guys could potentially go 6 or 7 and really see what's up for grabs. And that's awesome.
You guys are able to get your bat off your fucking backs and put it in the fucking strike zone when they're coming. It's great. Dude, it's so frustrating watching the Dodgers. Fucking 3 straight fastballs or 3 straight sliders that are actually in, and then you chase the slider that's 8 foot out, and the catcher has to run and get it to tag you.
We watch 2 pitches go, get down 0-2, and then we're forced to swing at some shitty ass thing.
It's insane to watch. It's insane to watch. I'm happy we have a lot of first pitch swingers on our team.
And then you have Bellinger, who will first pitch swing and golfs it about 3 miles high, and it barely makes it to second base. But he went back to that old swing that he has where he literally like hooks it and just brings it up.
Yeah, I would love for it to be a rematch of us.
Oh, dude, that would be crazy.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be a rematch no matter what now. The White Sox were the only team that could end that. So if we make it to the World Series, it's a rematch of one of the 2 teams that beat us. So that's pretty exciting. We can try to get revenge to get our back-to-back via revenge. So that'd be super cool. So let's move on. We'll obviously talk a little more about that next week and continuing weeks. We didn't talk a lot about football last week. We're also not going to talk a lot about football this week, but there are a few points we're going to talk about because we have to get to it came on me too fast. We have to get to our NBA predictions because by the time we record next week, day 1 will have started. So we don't want to spoil or like taint the waters or whatever. So we're going to bring up a couple of points in football, do our upset picks, and move on to basketball.
It's actually a perfect transition from what we were just talking about with the MLB, with all their shit going on. And NFL for the last couple of weeks is hold my beer. We have a coach.
That's what we're about to talk about. Yep.
Oh yeah, let's get.
No, go for it.
Coach on my team that I want to talk about last, but he's not riding home with the team to celebrate his grandkid's birthday, which is unheard of across all NFL. If you want to go to your kid's birthday, cool, you fly back with the team and then get on a fucking jet and fly your ass back. You always come back. That's just what coaches do. Yeah. They go back with the fucking team. It's what they do. Not only did he not do that because he's a first-year coach and he's from college and he doesn't know how the NFL fucking goes, even though he wants to say he does so fucking bad. He goes to a bar and he freaking finger fucks a college kid, I'm guessing, hopefully over the age of 21 because they were in a bar late night. So
clearly drunk. So
yeah, I mean, I was thinking shout out to him for having his hands down to where she couldn't get up on, because it looked like in the video he was sitting there with his hands at the chair to where she couldn't hop up and kind of grind on him. So he was protecting himself. You could tell it wasn't palm up, palm down. And then a picture comes out of his freaking finger grabbing. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And then the NFL continues to fuck up and say, hold my beer. Hey, there's this guy in Washington who we think is doing shady shit on the side of football. What was he? Equipment manager or something. Yeah, some kind of off equipment manager.
Operations manager or
something like that. They started investigating this guy and went through 650,000 emails. And the only thing that they were able to find is John Gruden is a fucking dickhead.
Yeah. Which we already knew, by the way.
We knew that.
I don't understand how it, like, he was just, they called him like gritty and they called him like all these.
Well, and I think what helped him out was the ESPN Monday Night Football. He was fucking fantastic at it. And then the Gruden quarterback camp was must see, like his brain. And I think the way he was able to talk about football, you didn't really have to worry about the personal side of him. The people who did, the players could tell. Keyshawn, right?
Johnson,
came out today saying that, he appreciated the fact that he was what that team needed to get over the top from Tony Dungy. That was the difference they needed. They needed that extra spark, that extra grit. But he said he could tell from day one that he was fake, that he was a used car salesman in his words.
Right, that's what he used.
And like it's something that's been known on the inner circle, but they've done a great job of keeping it in. John Gruden is somebody that I grew up loving and admiring the fucking hell out of. And then whenever he started doing the quarterback camp thing,
the Gruden's grinder thing,
2008,
that was different. Yeah.
And that's back when I was in high school, and I fell in love with that shit. I learned a lot, and it was really cool to see. And then he continued doing that. But these went on from 2011 and stopped in 2018, or that's when I guess they probably stopped looking, or the email stopped because he started getting back into the coaching, and all that stuff. But this is going on while he's in the business. He's on ESPN. He's calling these games, and he's just saying the worst shit in the world. I'd talk to you all the time if I'm glad I never made it big, because if I did, I get canceled in 2 weeks because people would come back and find the old shit. That dumbass kid that was being stupid, I called him the R word. I'd get canceled right away for that. But I've called Goodell a dumbass little bitch, and he called him a bitch and a pussy, which we both agree with, but
I still believe that. Yep.
Can't say it. He called him the F word, not fuck. He said that he was an F word.
I
don't think he said the B word. I think he said the F word.
I'm sure all they said was an anti-gay slur.
Well,
that's what they used on the headline, was just anti-gay slur. So I assumed it was the F word.
I saw a tweet that came in and said that he was calling them a pussy and a F word. So yeah, that's it's not good. That's not something you can do, especially when you're looked at in such regard amongst the hierarchy of the NFL. It's TV producers who spend so much and make so much money, and you're really the face of it for so long. He was the face of Monday Night Football for so long. And the fact that the news came out because it came out at like 8,
he was gone before Monday Night Football was over.
It was like 8 o'clock at night, 8, 9 at night. So for the news to break during Monday Night Football is ironic. And talking about ironic, how about that he lost to the Bears, who he traded Khalil Mack for?
Oh, Khalil Mack was ready. I think he had a couple sacks. He was. The thing is, like, how does it go this long? It's been since he was in Washington, was what, 8 years ago, something like that. How does it go that long? Because if he's acting that way, if obviously when he was on the Raiders, Al Davis, I don't want to be rude to Al Davis, but he's an old school kind of guy. He didn't care about you talking shit. He didn't care about you bad mouthing people. It was way back in the day, whatever. Then he goes to Tampa Bay. Obviously, Keyshawn Johnson says that that's the way it was. Then he gets to bounce through a couple more things. He probably said some things while he was at ESPN. Like, how does this stuff just continue on?
He was emailing somebody that was part of the NFL. I don't know exactly who it is, but I heard that the email address was blah, 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 blah at NFL.com. Like, he was talking to an NFL person, like somebody in the NFL, and talking all this shit. And the other guys that
like another NFL guy. Like, I don't understand how that can keep going.
A lot. There was like over 15, 20 emails of just shit. And that's the biggest one. He talked a lot of shit about players. It wasn't good. But this is when he was away from the game, and then to come back, and you could kind of tell that game that these kids weren't really
want to play it. Yeah, they were done.
The lineman, poor Derek Carr, lineman didn't want to block. It was just a rough time to be out there, and you could tell it was going to come. But I was surprised it took so long. I figured I would wake up on Monday to the news, but I feel like Mark Davis didn't want to do it.
Yeah,
and he was pressured into doing it.
He wasn't wanted even to give him the benefit of the doubt out of that first email, because the like rubber lipped thing, or lips as big as a tire or whatever. And Gruden said, like, rubber lips means liar. And it's like, okay, I could give you the benefit of the doubt on that. if you don't know his character, you don't know whatever, you should say that's a dumbass thing to do. You should still be suspended XYZ. But I can see how you could try to construe it. But then when all this other stuff comes out, then you go back even to that and you go, well, definitely don't believe you anymore. And that's when Mark Davis had to actually do something. I think he was going to be able to slip through the cracks with the first email if he had to. But then once more, the misogyny and the anti-gay and he's been anti-gay for a long time. Apparently, he said he didn't want Michael Sam or whatever his name is to be drafted.
Michael Sam, yeah.
And like stupid stuff like that. Him. Like, come on.
And how do you think Carl Nazib, right? That's
Nasib, yeah, whatever.
Nasib, whatever Nazib, yeah. Whatever it is. Like, he's a really fucking good football player, and he's openly gay. The second one, the first active, because Michael Sam did it, and then he got drafted by the Rams, and it just wasn't going to work out because the times were different then, and he ended up falling off the wagon. So here's Carl Nazib coming out before the season during like training camp and all that shit. Not feeling like he had to, but he wanted to get the pressure off. Like, he didn't want to go through another year of football with this shit on his chest. Kudos to this man. Shout out to him again for being a fucking awesome human being, a hell of a football player, and standing his ground and not giving a fuck what people think about it. And then to come out and realize the guy that, like, at the end of the day, these guys fight for their coaches. Like, these are guys who they fucking say, yes, sir. Yes, coach. Fucking go through hell. Listen to these guys during training camp and say, we're going to fucking murder your mental. We're going to murder your physical. You're going to get fucked. And we're the ones doing it for 6 weeks. And then you're going to go out there for 4 months and get your asses beat. And then we're the ones calling the plays. Like, they're going out there to get fucking risking concussions and all this shit for a paycheck too. But these coaches mean a lot. You can tell good coaches from bad coaches on the way they play, a la the Lions compared to the fucking Jaguars right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So that has to suck. That has to really fucking suck as a person to know who you are, know what you've done, and came out and you want these people to have your back because you have their back no matter what. And he's just a complete piece of shit. It has to suck, and that's one of the reasons they got their asses beat by the Bears.
Yeah, and what sucks the most is all he's doing now is just getting an early retirement. He's gonna go soak in his millions of dollars and just never work again, which will suck for him. I'm sure he'll hate it. He seems like a guy that enjoys his job, but what sucks is that's the punishment. And I mean, I know they can't really do anything. They can't steal take his paychecks away. But like on ESPN this morning, they were talking about like, do you think since he stepped away, he's going to get his paycheck for the rest of the 6 years? And it's like, why the fuck? Like, who cares? Cut him off, kick him out. He's done.
Yeah, he doesn't deserve another ridiculous fucking dime.
Like, why is that even a topic of conversation?
He should have to pay back all the fucking money.
Yeah, he should.
He's made.
Well, they should sue him. Whoever is the topic of every email that he has should sue him for like X amount of dollars.
Like, and it sucks that he was able to resign instead of it being a fucking like. There's got to be somewhere in his contract,
a black mark on his.
There's got to be somewhere in his contract that defamation of character or something like that. Like, you fucked our name, so we're not giving you shit, and we're going to be able to get how long has it been? The $40 million that you've gotten so far. Like, no,
that's what they
hopefully
should
he's been smart with his money because he's not going to be able to get a job in the NFL. He better start selling insurance or some shit.
Yeah, and we've all done stupid shit. We've all said stupid shit. We've all talked
my stomach
in dumb ways, and you of course talk differently to your friends and you talk to other people, and we've all been overheard talking to our friends when you probably shouldn't have been overheard doing those things. But Jeff Saturday said it the best that I heard, and it was just super simple, man. He just said, be kind. Like that's what it all boils down to. It's not really the words. It's not really and obviously there are taboo words you can't say. There are blah, blah, blah. You can't talk about people and offend them in that way, but it's just be kind. It's not the subject matter. It's the persona. It's everything that goes with it. Just be kind. And clearly John Gruden is not a kind person. And so it's good to see him go.
I'm an asshole. And when I kind of like to talk shit and poke fun at people, I don't do it like that. It's a funny thing. I'm bringing them in it. Yeah, you're the butt of the joke, but you're still my guy. I love you. If I talk shit about you, it's probably because I love you. Right. I don't really go out of my way to fucking pull some mean girl shit. Like, I wrote about Michael Sam today. Like, this shit's so stupid. I mean, that was a dumb Mean Girls reference. Never saw the movie. Never saw it.
It's a good movie.
Are you serious? You've seen it?
Hell yeah, dude. I've seen it many times. It's funny.
Really?
Hell yeah.
I guess I should watch it.
I don't know about Mean Girls 2. I think there's one of those. That's probably not good.
I don't know. I might watch Mean Girls. Who knows?
It's pretty funny. I like
But
it.
I saw whatever October, whatever day came up. There
15th
was
or whatever it is
there
when
was
they
a
wear
lot of
pink or
memes
whatever.
saying he asked me what today was on whatever. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, what at the end of it, just be nice, like be kind to people. Don't you get one shot at this. Like, don't be out there just being an asshole, especially when you've been blessed as much as you have, and you have literally everything you ever wanted. Somebody who grew up in football and just he loves the game of football.
Oh, yeah.
There's no question about that. The reason he was talking all this shit about Goodell and all this shit about Michael Sam, because in his mind, it was ruining the game of football. But
well, Goodell probably does ruin the game of football, but that's
for sure,
that's a different
absolutely.
story.
But that shit is way worse on the game of football than anything Goodell's done, and coming out as not straight. Like, that's the dumbest shit in the world for him to start talking shit about people for.
Yeah.
Like, it's always been dumb. It's one of those things that back in the day people were scared of fucking change. It's obnoxious. Get the fuck over it.
Exactly.
Costa's only been dead for like 45 years.
Change with the times, or don't
isn't that crazy?
Include yourself. Yeah, that is pretty crazy. Because obviously, like, in his past, times were different, but now they are not. Like, change with the fucking times or get out of the kitchen kind of thing.
Yeah, he's old. He wasn't even learning about Picasso when he was in school because the motherfucker was still alive.
Cool. All right. So did you want to talk about Urban Meyer right now, or were you saying the end, like the end?
Oh no, I don't. He don't deserve the end. Fuck no.
That's what I thought. I was like, why is he gonna be our ending?
Yeah, no. I just wanted to talk about him after Gruden because Gruden's the bigger story. It's just Urban's a more personal thing for me. But it's just dumb as fuck to do, and I really feel like it's something that he knew. He knows what he's doing. He's not a dumb person. I think the biggest thing he didn't think about was his family at that point in time. And whenever he talked about his family, that was the biggest thing. When he talked to the team, yeah, he's like, oh yeah, I talked to the team. I think we're going to be fine. Dude, the team came out saying, grind on me, grind on three, 1, 2, 3, grind, and broke the fucking huddle laughing their asses off. Like, they think the guy is a joke. And I think that's what he wants to do. They had a lot of talks at the beginning of the week coming in here yesterday. Today, a lot of talks. He's still the team coach. I think this would be the time to do it. Don't send him to London. Get him out of here. But the unfortunate thing is he brought in a lot of shitty staff.
Yeah. And
usually when the head coach leaves, the staff is still contracted till the end of the season. So they have to stay. And
well, the thing is, like, is this really a fireable offense? Like, obviously the things that John Gruden did is just immediately you're fired. The thing that Urban Meyer did, like you said, it's more about his personal life that he's going to have to go fix his personal stuff. But other than just being an image thing, do you think it's a fireable offense, or it's just?
No, I don't. But at the same time, when they were coming up with all these talks and stuff, apparently there's somewhere in his contract with a clause and all this stuff. And it really put a bad eye on him and the team, and mostly not coming back with the team after a loss. You decided to go out to the bars is how most of the media took it. Yeah. And then unfortunately, and you were with college people. Like, that's not a good eye. You're supposed to be the coach. We're 0-5. Like, excuse me. That's not what you're supposed to be out here doing. So for him to do that, I think he knows what he's doing, but it sucks even more for us because Trevor's not used to this shit. He had Dabo. I'm sure his high school coach was the same high school coach. He didn't have to worry about any of this stuff. So he's out here trying to play football, and Urban's just out here
having a time of his life.
Yeah, and making an ass of himself. At the end of the game last week, we lost again, and because of momentum and because of bad coaching and because of the refs fucking us. But the thing that really pissed me off at the end of the game, they asked, why wasn't James Robinson in on 4th and 1? And why didn't he go for the quarterback sneak? He said, I don't always have, like, he just lets the offensive coordinator, so he doesn't really do much with the personnel, which I understand. Like, he doesn't dictate that a lot, which he's came out saying he doesn't really do. He just kind of lets Nesbitt ride, which sucks. But, and then he also said, Trevor's not ready with the quarterback sneak.
Well, in other news, that was a touchdown. It shouldn't have been brought back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Neither here nor there.
Absolutely. But no, this was afterwards. We were down 24-17, had a chance to really make a game of it. Again, we were on like the 2. James Robinson didn't give, we went in a pass play.
Gotcha.
And yeah, we're like 0 for 8 probably on 4th downs. Don't know for sure. But so the media asked Trevor when he came out in the post game, said, yeah, so coach said you're not ready to go on 4th and goal. Those goal line scenarios with a quarterback sneak. How do you feel about that? Have you practiced it? He's like, no, it's not something you really practice, but yeah, I'm ready for it. I haven't done it a lot in the NFL, but yeah, it's something that I'm confident about for sure. And you can tell like he's got that mindset. I feel like if we gave him the opportunity, the quarterback sneak for the Buffalo Bills isn't a fucking 1-yard pickup. Right. Josh Allen doesn't just take the ball and go. That motherfucker takes the ball and is looking up.
He like backs up a little bit.
He's going to break to the left or to the right and see what that's what Trevor did in college. He's used to getting it in the shotgun, hiking it.
Yeah, it's not going to be a Tom Brady QB sneak.
To where he needs to go. And if he's in the NFL, just like Josh Allen, who was in Wyoming, who they did the same fucking shit. Shotgun, hike the ball, look around, find your fucking hole, and go from 5 yards out. This motherfucker has an advantage. He's right at the line now.
Yeah.
It's asinine. Urban's just dumb. And the fact that he's covering up Nesbitt being a sorry ass offensive coordinator, he needs to come out and say, I don't know, that's something we need to look at, something we need to talk about. But don't sit there and say your quarterback's not ready, knowing his ass, the dog Trevor is going to come out and be like, no, I'm ready for anything. Of course he's ready. The fucking number 1 pick. I'm 6'9" with a fucking 58-yard wingspan. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, he's definitely ready. That's a stupid thing, but I'm just saying, like, I think as long as everything's legal, like you said, as long as the girl's of legal age, as long as everything's legal, I agree. I don't think it's necessarily a fireable offense. And I think Khan could just say, you know what, fuck this season. Go talk to Trevor Lawrence, make sure he knows, like, hey, take care of yourself, don't get injured. Urban will be gone. Probably your 2nd or 3rd London game. London games you have.
If they don't do it at this London game, then let him stay. Let him finish the year. Yeah, the guys think he's a fucking joke. They don't really respect him that much. Probably at the end of the day, I may be wrong. They may look at Urban like just another one of those guys because these are grown ass men playing a fucking game for a paycheck.
Right, exactly.
So they are real guys. They probably, Blake used to go to the fucking beach bars and make a fool of himself. And people used to talk about it on Twitter, but you never heard about it when we were losing or winning because he's a fucking 23-year-old guy.
Right.
But like we talked about, this guy's like 60 years old with a family. So it's a lot different. But so I think he knows what he's doing. I think he's prepping, getting ready to take himself and our whole coaching staff that sucks dick in the NFL to USC, which is completely fine with me.
Yeah,
but I think Shad will keep him for the fact that he coaches them up. He coaches those boys. They don't really like how hands-on he is because they're not used to the head coach doing that shit. They're used to get pepped up, barked at, all that stuff. But they're not going to every position. He has something to say, something to show you, something to do, hands-on as fuck. And they don't really like that. Like, we're not in college anymore. Picking up guys he recruited. Luke Farrell, the 7th round pick, getting more action than fucking the guy that we just traded CJ Henderson for.
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid. But so I think, hey, let him stay this year. He's smart as fuck at the football. Probably not at the NFL football, but he'll be able to give you tips.
He's a great coach Monday through Saturday. And that's what Khan can use, and then get rid of him and get a coach that can coach on Sunday.
So let it ride out. And even next year, after we go 2-15 this year, we're going to have a top 3 pick. We're going to have the best quarterback in this draft because, best quarterback in this draft. None of them better. Trevor Lance looks like he's a little bit not there. Justin Fields definitely isn't. He had like 100 and something yards last game in their win.
Yeah.
I mean, Trevor is definitely the best. Going to have the most picks probably. He'll probably pass Peyton in that. But
Wilson might have
by
more
far
picks.
The best. So going into next year, I think Jacksonville is an even better destination for a head coach to go to.
Like Matt Nagy, your new head coach.
Get the fuck out of here. Hell no. Hell no. No, I'm thinking what's his name? The Kansas City guy that keeps not getting his shot.
Oh yeah, that keeps not getting a job.
Whatever.
Yeah, be enemy. I think.
We'll take his ass.
Nice. Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, I think he sticks around. I really do. So
get Jimbo up here. He knows how to beat Nick Saban. No, I'm kidding. Fuck Jimbo.
Yeah, so that's a good transition. Let's move into college real quick and make a couple of things. First off, Alabama did lose. Texas A&M beat Alabama. Yet Alabama still controls their own destiny because Texas A&M has 2 SEC losses. What sort of a hit on Alabama is this, or do you think it's more of just a wake up call and they continue to roll? And
it's a huge hit because they're going to lose to Georgia in the SEC championship, and now they're not going to make the
championship
playoffs.
Team.
They're not going to make the playoffs, which is huge for a whole shit ton of teams, but especially Cincinnati. They control
number 3
their
Cincinnati,
own destiny.
baby.
They are the team. They control their own destiny. They know if they win out, they are in. And we both talked about last week. If they lose, they have no right to be fucking ranked.
Exactly. Yeah, because they have an easy
Cincinnati
easy
is fucking. I just think like I'm so excited thinking about it. Fucking non-power 5, group of 5, whatever the fuck you want to call them, getting into the playoffs, and they're definitely going to make the fucking national championship.
Yeah.
That team is good. They have like a fucking
because they'll get fucking stuck at 4th seed and they'll have to play Georgia.
I don't know if they can ride out 3, bro. They're going to be good. I didn't even see the rankings. Is Oregon
They're 3rd
there?
No, Oregon lost
to
Stanford.
Oh yeah.
So basically, what we assume to happen, because obviously there's always upsets, there's always shockers, but Georgia, Iowa, and Cincinnati are pretty much locks at this point. So it's just
fuck Iowa up.
Whichever team that 4th seed, but this committee, and they will put Cincinnati 4th and make them play Georgia.
Yeah.
Georgia's going to win 56-14 or some shit, and they're going to talk crap about the group of 5, saying they should never be in there. Not to mention Georgia's going to go on and win the national championship by even more points. And they're still going to go, nope, you got blown out by Georgia. You don't deserve to be there. So that's what's going to happen.
So we got to hope happens is their games, they just keep blowing out, and Iowa keeps having close calls, and they ended up 2. Iowa ends up 3, and the committee has no chance but to give them 2 or 3. Like, you're going to have to.
So, that's what we hope, because they could beat Iowa for sure, because Penn State should have beaten Iowa, but an injury stopped them from beating Iowa there. But let's move on. Let's make some picks real quick. There's only a couple of ranked games, and then I think one of them might be my upset pick anyway.
What was your upset pick last week?
It was I don't remember, but I think it actually happened. I don't remember what it was though.
I remember mine. It almost happened.
Yeah, yours should have happened.
But Oklahoma got smart and benched that dumbass Spencer Rattler. So
now there's QB controversy.
Oh, dude, that new quarterback was hot.
Yeah, he was good.
Was killing it.
So the only two ranked games, we'll talk about them together, are Oklahoma State.
I think you picked Maryland against Ohio. No, you picked Mississippi against Arkansas, didn't you? Ole Miss.
Yeah, that's what I did. And they won by 1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go. So the only 2 ranked games are Oklahoma State traveling to Texas and undefeated Kentucky traveling to Georgia. Those are the only 2 matchups with 2 ranked people. Do you see an upset out of either of those 2 games? Or obviously we've talked about Georgia. We think they're going to go undefeated. So I think I can speak for both of us there when I say Georgia's going to beat Kentucky, who is a very surprising 6-0, number 11, but they'll soon drop out of this whole thing. But Oklahoma State traveling to Texas, that's a pretty tough one. Texas is favored. They're playing at home. So could they pull the upset on Oklahoma State here?
They could. They really could. But we've been seeing a lot. When it comes down to it, Texas can't play for 4 quarters.
It's true.
50% of the time.
But they could be ahead by like 20 and hope for the best.
27, I think it was, and still lose the game. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll have to see how they bounce back. That's definitely not my upset pick, even though they are favored. I think
I already picked Oklahoma State to be upset once, and they dominated. So I'm not picking that upset again.
But no, that's not a game that I would bet on. That's something
for sure.
Shout out to Florida. If the Hollywood sports book from the Seminole tribe was up and running, that's a game I would not take any fucking kind of look at whatsoever.
Meanwhile, shout out to Kadarius Toney, by the way. Not the end of the game when he got expelled or whatever, but the yards and the catches, and shout out there.
So everybody that says when I first saw it live, I was like, the fuck? Because I saw him do this.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, bomb you. What?
Yep, he's such a moron.
And then they played the replay, and dude literally slammed him and threw his head into the ground after the fact.
Right.
I probably would have drop kicked you with my cleats in your gut. I wouldn't have
It
tried
doesn't
to
make
hit
it
you.
right.
I
Just
wouldn't
because
have tried to
Sil would
hit
have done
you.
it.
Yeah, I would have tried to hit you with my fist into a freaking hard helmet that's not supposed to let you
Well,
get.
it's funny because you could tell Tony thought about it mid punch. Was
And
like,
then,
oh shit, I should not punch him in the helmet.
kind of slid off of it. Yeah, but still, I mean, I would have been really pissed off at that time too. But damn it, dude, you were having
He was having a game, bro.
A hell of a game. And yeah, he's gonna get picked up in fantasy, but he's probably gonna be suspended for 2 games because Joe Judge don't play that shit. If you can read lips really good, you get in the fucking locker room. We don't do that shit. And then Tony went to get the fuck out of here. He let him know that ain't something that you're gonna do in New York.
Right.
You might suck, but you might be great too. But that shit ain't never gonna fly. And that's why the people
love Judge too, because he doesn't care if they lose games. He's gonna be a good coach, and he's gonna coach the right people and put the right people out there. And they're gonna lose games because their best players keep getting hurt. Yeah. But anyways, go ahead and tell us your upset pick for this week.
Oh shit!
Did you already close it?
Yeah, I did. I don't know. It's really hard to pick one this week.
Yeah, I'm going down in the ranks again.
You are? Yes, there's not really too much to go for. I mean, you would think maybe Missouri over Texas A&M. That's an easy one, but Texas A&M looked really fucking good, and it's hard to come against that. You might want to pick Baylor over BYU because Baylor looked real. I think that's what I'm going to do.
That's what I was going to pick too. Go for it.
I mean, yeah, Baylor.
I mean, they're the betting favorite, but they're the ranking underdogs, and that's how we do it on this podcast. So
yeah, but I don't know. Tennessee over Mississippi. That's a nice little thing in there too. I like the hard ones. I'm gonna go Tennessee over Mississippi. I'm sick of picking on Oklahoma.
Well,
Oklahoma don't even fucking play this week.
No, they don't. They just got to figure out who their quarterback is. I can't pick for Heupel, but I'm going to avoid Baylor at this time too, because they are the betting favorites. They're going to win. Just write that in the books right there. They're going to win, but it's not worth betting because they're the favorites. So I'm actually going to go back to the Pac-12 after dark, where I've been wrong on 3 of my upset picks so far. And I'm going to take Utah to upset Herm Edwards. I think that Arizona State does their thing. They come out hot. They do their thing. This is what they did last year. This is what they did 2 years ago under Herm. And they always finish with like 4 losses. So this is going to be one of them. They're going to go into Utah and they're just not going to be able to make it out alive. Salt Lake City's a high elevation that they don't really talk about all that much. Arizona is not. And Utah is going to be able to win this one.
I like what you did there. I thought about that one too.
Nice. All right. So what's up?
I don't know. I wouldn't mind Lane Kiffin getting beat again. It's funny watching him lose.
Yeah, Lane Kiffin versus Josh Heupel is I don't care which one loses, but I'm going to cheer either way. So that's exciting. All right. So real quick, like we said, the NBA is going to have started before we record next time, or before you get to listen to next episode. So we're just going to do some brief predictions for the NBA. And real quick, the first prediction is, will Kyrie Irving play this year?
No,
I think he's taking the year off too. And it's crazy.
Oh, he's done.
Well, he's done in New York because he can't play without and so unless they trade him, he's not going to play this year. But then he'll leave. He'll go somewhere where he can play.
How is he going to play in any California? In any New York, like he can't play at home.
He can't play in New York City. He can't play in New York City.
And that was the same thing going on with Wiggins. You can't play in California without being vaccinated.
Right.
So he's going to play 30 games this year?
Right.
No.
And no practice. He can't practice because their home is New York.
Yeah.
And he can't play in 2 states where there's like 5.
And it's crazy. Nobody's. I haven't watched a lot of sports talk lately, but it's crazy. Nobody's talking about that, or it's not really like prominent going on all these notifications and shit. Like he's not going to be able to play a lot of games, and he's not changing his mind. Kyrie is a different guy. He's the Kanye.
He shouldn't change his mind.
No,
Wiggins makes a good amount of money, but Wiggins came out and he had to say, like, listen, I chose my job. I chose to make money over what I truly wanted to do. Kyrie's not going to do that. I love that Wiggins actually came out and said it straight up, where he said, I feared for my job and my career, so I had to do it. I felt pressured to do it. I love that he actually came out and said that, as opposed to just like, oh yeah, I decided it was time to get it. But Kyrie's not going to do that. Yeah, he's going to say, listen, I burned sage this morning, so coronavirus is dead and I'm ready to play. And he's going to stick with it. So But I think he should stick with it. And I think it's going to be tough because the NBA has already said that they don't owe money to anyone that can't play due to coronavirus shit. So we'll see.
So stupid.
Yeah. But so I agree with you. I think he will not play. At least not in New York.
I think he's going to be done unless they change the rulings on it and all these guys got vaccinations for no reason. It's insane because nobody was vaccinated when they were in the bubble.
Right.
And there were no issues. And I understand
Kyrie
with the fans
still
and
gets
stuff,
tested every fucking day. And
I understand with the fans and all that stuff being allowed back in. But with football, I mean, football had a lot of people get it too. There was a high rate on football, but they didn't force it because they're able to. I mean, just with the way
a lot of the coaches tried to like force it, but there was no rule.
Yeah, on the NFL, like it's a lot of open stadiums and all that stuff, and they are just normally, I don't even think the Jaguars have the on-field seats anymore. I didn't see them, so the NFL, it's a lot easier to keep the fans away from them just because they have a fucking 8-foot wall that separates them, and they're about 10 yards away from the wall on the sidelines for the most part in most stadiums. But the NBA is indoors.
You're right there. Yeah.
And the fans are right there. So they could still do a 75% stadium, but ban
just
off.
Do the lower band.
Yeah, ban off the court side and the first like 5-6 rows, and then have fans after that. And that would bring up more kind of an NFL type.
But it would also lose tens of thousands of dollars every game.
Yeah.
So,
but you'd have one of your top 5 point guards in the league, and having these people not having to make decisions for money over their livelihood.
Yeah. Well, it sucks because I wanted to go watch. I usually go watch the Suns travel to LA to play. And now I have to travel to Phoenix just to watch the Suns because I'm not allowed in Staples Center unless I have a card. So you have to have a card and still wear a mask. It's really ridiculous. I don't understand. So now I have to go to Phoenix because Phoenix is kind of like Florida. They don't have the rules. They don't care. So now I get to, which is probably cheaper anyway. Honestly, I could get a flight to Phoenix and the ticket for cheaper than a Lakers game. So I'm going to have to do that. I'm gonna have to go to Phoenix, but it's kind of ridiculous. What happened in California and clearly in New York as well, because the numbers and the science don't support these rules that are in place. I'm all for supporting the science. I'm all for get the vax. I've said that if you believe you need the vax, go get it. But I'm going to continue to follow science, and it sucks that the rules don't, and then these mandates are happening.
And it's crazy to think. I know this doesn't have anything to do about sports, but just thinking like whenever influenza came around, if this is how people acted, could you imagine how
probably is? But there was just no
COVID. Like it's insane. Like 30 years from now, something else happens, they're gonna be like, shit, we got to go 10 times harder now.
Yeah, it's gonna keep getting bigger and bigger and badder and badder, But it's kind of crazy. By the way, actually, I'll tell you this after the podcast. It's not relevant. It's just about coronavirus stuff. But anyways, more predictions. So let's go ahead and actually make the predictions we like to make. Let's predict. I'll let you do your conference first, and I'll do my conference first. So in the East, who do you think wins the East, makes it to the NBA? We're jumping all the way to the championship. Who wins the East?
There's a lot still going on in the East. A lot. You got to see what the Nets are going to do. You got to see what Philly is going to do.
Ben Simmons showed up, by the way. So
cool. See what the Heat end up looking like. What kind of fucking team they are. So the only team that you can really like look at and point at right now before anything's fucking happened is the defending champs,
right?
And the Bucks. Like that's, if you try to pick anybody else, you're smoking crack or cocaine and fucking a cigarette or some dumb shit.
I mean, what other team is there? It's Philly, and they have the most chaos right now that anybody could have.
On paper it's Philly, and that's, I mean, there's it's not gonna happen. It's unfortunate, but there's nobody else. The Heat. But the Heat
are going to play with a chip on their shoulder. They're going to play hard, but
they haven't
gotten better.
They have
really?
Depot, right?
Yeah,
they got Depot. But and then I think the big story to see this year is how the Bulls look. They are a new.
They look good in preseason,
in and out, and they're looking damn good in preseason. Unfortunately, I'll have to see a lot of them fucking my team up, but they look like that they could be a really, really good, really fast-paced team.
Right.
and they're still really fucking athletic and can do something on defense as well.
But they still just don't have that experience. And I don't think they can grind through a 7-game series without the experience, because they don't even have college experience. None of the guys on that team made it far in college either. So they just don't have it right now. They kind of have what the Suns have, which they got lucky to make it all the way to the finals. So they need to go through that. And it looks like this is the year. I'm with you there. It looks like this is the year they get to go through it. It might be just one round, but they will get to go through it. They'll get to battle. And in the future, they'll be even better. I'm with you. I think it's the Bucks. It's the Bucks to give away. So I'll just agree with everything you said there. Moving to the West, there's a lot of parity out there too, and it's because a lot of people look good, not a lot of people have chaos. And I think the Jazz, who were the first seed last year, are just gonna fall off. They might miss the playoffs, and like it sucks because they didn't really get any worse, but everybody else got a lot better, and they're gonna have a real struggle. I'd love to be able to say that the Suns will repeat and make it to the finals. I don't believe that to be true. I think they'll be a top half team. I think they'll be pretty good. But I'm sticking with the team that I actually said last year and got wrong. The Nuggets. I think the Nuggets are just keep getting better. Michael Porter gets the first month of the season or so to continue to show what he's done before Jamal Murray comes back and takes over that team again. If Porter becomes a star level player before Murray comes back so that they can implement him, then that's my pick. If when Murray comes back, Porter gets dropped down into that, like, what do I do in here kind of role, then they won't stand a chance. But I'm hoping that he steps up, continues to improve. And I think the Nuggets are going to be a bad team next year.
Yeah, I agree with you there, but I don't know how the injuries are going to affect them with Jamal. If he comes out paper, if he gets injured again.
Right.
Same thing with Utah. They dealt with a lot of injuries last year. Same thing could happen. LeBron and that sellout team over there is
they're not doing anything.
Yeah, so I mean, it could happen again for the Suns, and I really look for it to happen. They're going to be able to go under the radar and sneak past all these teams and do their thing. But yeah, if I don't have the Suns, you got to look at the Nuggets. You homer?
Your boy Mookie homer.
Let's go.
2-run homer after Walker Buehler beat out a ground ball, by the way. That's how much we want that. Walker Buehler beat out a ground ball to first.
Let's go.
And got Mookie up for the 2-run homer.
Let's go.
That's crazy.
But yeah, I think it's the Nuggets to lose, and if they're going to lose it, they're going to lose it to the Suns. I think the Suns, they're another year older. They're another year together. And unfortunately, they didn't really make that big acquisition that they needed, that they should have. But they're not in flux, and they're not really coming off of any big injuries at the end of the season last year.
Okay. Yeah, I hope so. I hope the Suns do it. That's all the prediction we need to make right now. Like we said, there will be like 2 games have played. The Dubs, the Lakers.
Evan Mobley, Rookie of the Year.
The Dubs, the Lakers. That's what we're going to do next week. We'll talk about the MVP. We'll talk about the Rookie of the Year. We'll talk defense, blah, 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 all those guys. But I just wanted to make sure our championship picks were there. We knew what we were saying. And you can put it on the board before the first game has been played that's what it's going to be. Do you have an out for us still?
Not really. Just so Eddie's happy, hockey's going on.
Hockey is back, guys. And the Pittsburgh Penguins are the only 1-0 team in the league right now. They got the first game and they won 6-2. So congrats to he's been blowing up my phone. I don't know what he said, but obviously he's going to be happy that the Penguins won. The Kraken get to play right now. If you guys are like us, then you really don't care. You don't know who
they have amazing jerseys,
but they do look super cool. I'm waiting for their home game. I don't know why they didn't get to start at home. Vegas gets to start, so they're starting in Las Vegas. But that first Seattle Kraken home game, check it out, guys. Tune in for the first 15 minutes. Watch it. The Vegas one was amazing. Their first home game. So Seattle's going to be amazing too. That place is going to be rocking. They're known for fans that go crazy. So check it out. But it's cool that all these sports are coming back in. We had that dead zone where it was just regular season baseball, and we were literally sitting here picking our brains trying to figure out something. Now we're in no shortage of stuff. Every episode is going to be coming hot, coming fast, different topics. So you guys got to continue to
end it with Tyson Fury.
Man, we could talk about that for another hour.
End it with that.
Shout out to Tyson Fury. He is a stud. Shout out to your boy too. I already forgot his name because he lost and he's irrelevant now. He's got two losses. Deontay Wilder. That man's a dog. He's just not as good of a boxer, but he's a dog. He came out, he fought, he had a lot of heart. He stayed on his feet. There was no way his trainer was throwing in the towel since the last guy got fired. So we just had to sit here and watch him get concussed time and time again. And it was pretty hard to watch the last couple rounds.
Hey, he got Tyson a little bit too there for a while.
He did. He rocked Tyson. It looked like he was going to win in the, what was that, third round. He knocked Tyson down a couple times. The second time was more of like a slip, but but it was still because of that first punch that he threw at the, and he did. Yeah, he started swinging wildly like a 5-year-old having a tantrum there at the end, and he caught Tyson a couple times, but his power was gone at that point because his brain was gone at that point. And luckily, hopefully there's no damage done. I haven't seen anything on him, but I'm sure they get tested after every single match. But shout out to Tyson. Shout out to all these new teams, all these new sports. Shout out to you guys as fans. And as always, be a stud, not a scrub.